Now, let's turn our attention to creating dual-layer DVDs. Click the Disk icon in the Outline tab to bring up the Disk Inspector properties. Click the Disk Volume tab. In this section, you can specify whether you want a single or dual-layer DVD. The advantage of a dual-layer DVD is that the disk can hold almost twice the data of a single-layer DVD. The downside is, at some point, the DVD player must switch from one layer to the other, creating a temporary pause in playback. The point at which the player switches is called appropriately the layer breakpoint. While this pause cannot be eliminated entirely, it can be minimized using the settings in the inspector. Start by selecting Dual in the Disk Information area. The first thing you can do is set the correct playback direction. There are two settings to choose from: OTP or opposite track path, and PTP or parallel track path. By default, the DVD player reads the DVD from the inside of the disk outward. You can minimize what I call the switch glitch by making sure OTP is selected. When the DVD laser reaches the outer edge of the first layer, layer 0, the laser refocuses and starts reading from the second layer, layer 1, from the outside of the disk inward. By choosing parallel track path, or PTP, you force the DVD laser to pick up and move back to the inside of the disk on a course parallel to the direction of the first layer. The extra time required for this laser repositioning causes a much more noticeable playback glitch. Therefore, you should avoid using this setting. There is also another important consideration. The data written to the first layer must be larger than 50% of the layer's total capacity, which is roughly 3.9 gigabytes. This will ensure that when the second layer is written, there will be enough room on the disk to record the remaining data on the second layer. Since the project we're working on is well under the 50% minimum required for layer 1, we would not choose dual because this project could easily fit on a single layer DVD. We know this because the disk meter shows us that the total capacity is just under 500 megs, well under the 3.9 gigabyte maximum. Assuming we had enough data to fill a DVD-9, the other challenge is finding a breakpoint in the video stream where the breakpoint is less noticeable, preferably on a scene with no action or on a fade. DVD Studio Pro gives you some options for setting the breakpoint. In the inspector, there's an item labeled Breakpoint where you can choose a method for creating the breakpoint. The checkbox labeled Seamless is to be avoided at all costs. Some DVD players support this feature by making the layer change less detectable. However, many players don't support this feature and therefore will stop playback when the breakpoint is reached, so leave this box unchecked. By choosing Automatic, DVD Studio Pro will choose the last marker on the track that fits within the first layer's total capacity and set that marker as the breakpoint during the build and formatting process. If there is more ROM data than video data, DVD Studio Pro will place the breakpoint in the ROM sector of the disk. If a suitable marker is not found, the formatting is cancelled and you will need to create and set the breakpoint marker manually. If you already have an ideal marker you want to use as the breakpoint, click the drop-down menu and choose a marker from the list of tracks. Here, I'm choosing a marker from the converted slideshow track because any pause caused by the player switch will be masked by the fact that the layer break is sitting over a still image. If you select the Avalon Photos track, you can see a tiny dot inside the marker indicating it is now set as the breakpoint. Additionally, you can select another marker or create a new one. Then, in the General tab of the Marker Inspector, place a check mark in the box labeled Dual Layer Breakpoint. The downside to this method is that you are setting the marker somewhat blind. You won't know if you've chosen a suitable marker until the disk is formatted. If you've chosen an inappropriate marker, the formatting is cancelled and you'll have to repeat the process of locating a new layer break marker.